holidays for the Professor Lando household is just kind of like we eat, we chat, and then yeah, it is every conversation with the families. Oh, it always devolves to it's never too late to go to school. It's never too late to go to school. If you don't know, I dropped out of what was essentially my dream college, and now I'm playing Minecraft. Gonna beat the Ender Dragon. Yeah, we're not really ones for like gift giving anymore because, well, here's the thing. Like, me and my mother, we are both like, what do you call it when you make yourself feel better when you buy stuff? We're both therapeutic shoppers. So, like, between my mother and I, we just buy what we want. Retail therapy. We buy what we want as soon as we want it. And so Christmas comes around, or birthdays too, and it's just like, well, I've bought myself everything I could possibly want. Oh, why did I drop out? Well, I didn't want to be a doctor anymore. That's why I went to school. I switched majors a bunch, but the predominant major I had was biology. That's why I know about s orbitals and p orbitals, and or I guess that's chemistry. Well, I just want to do something creative. Thinking back, I have conversations with my mother about this, and I mean, it's both sides. I think a lot of kids, myself included, we go through a phase where we're kind of we blame our parents for forcing things upon us, which they definitely do to a degree. But I know a lot of people, and this might be you to varying degrees, you kind of use them as like the scapegoat for your inability to like commit to either following your dreams or whatever, right? Because you say, like, ultimately you could say like, oh, I'm going to do it, and you could do it, but you kind of like, my parents, they didn't want me to, and it's like, you know, it's kind of like I was very much like that for a while. I was a pre-med student. I was working at a clinic and everything. I was drawing blood, and I wasn't a doctor, but, you know, I was getting that resume. I was kind of a crack student. Not the best GPA for pre-med, I'll be honest. It was like a 3.75, which is actually kind of bad for pre-med, especially if you went to, like, the school I went to. But, you know, my soft skills were going to carry me. I told myself. But no, I decided like, oh, I'm miserable. I'm miserable devoting my life to something that I don't truly care about. I didn't drop out to be a YouTuber. What's your soft skills? Oh, just like, I mean, my people skills, right? Like, this was a while ago, but at the time we were kind of it wasn't like new, but there's a period where people were trying to become doctors with just straight academics, and you got a bunch of like really weird, awkward, but super smart doctors. And there was definitely a shift way before my time, but there was eventually a shift where, like, I mean, like, think about it. When's the last time you guys went to the doctors or like the emergency room? Like, because for me lately, like when my foot was all fucked up and my back, like, I don't know about you, but my doctors are always like super charismatic. So there's like a shift where they started to value like the rest of your resume over your academics. I think that happened quite a while ago, but what basically my point is like, oh, I deluded myself. I was like, oh, dude, my soft skills were carrying me. I'm so good with people and whatever. No, it's just, I mean, I feel a story you've heard a bunch. I'll be honest. Also, well, I think the main, I was miserable. I was like absolutely miserable. But you know, I mean, I got to the point, not to get too fucking depressing or something. I was really like in a dark place. I would like, I don't mean to make like, this isn't to make a joke about this kind of thing. This is just like the truth. Like, I literally did this when I wasn't trying to, I was never suicidal. And unfortunately, I feel a lot of young people feel this way. It's like, not suicidal, but like, I definitely would like kind of cross the street with a little less caution than I think I normally would. Which I'm not trying to make a joke. Like, that's true. I feel like a lot of people are kind of like that. Especially like younger people. You know what I mean? Know what I'm saying? Maybe I'm just crazy. But stuff like that kind of mentality, essentially. Yeah, I guess reckless. You're kind of like living your life without abandon, with abandon, I guess. I thought about maybe going for art. But the school I went to, it was so expensive that it was like, well, if I wasn't going to become a doctor, then it kind of was like not worth it to pursue the degree there. So if I wasn't going to go for a hard like career, or sorry, not hard, but like a career that required like a really good resume, aka doctor, scientist, lawyer, it's kind of not worth it to pursue the it was $45,000 a school year for me. So it's kind of like, well, let's drop out. And then I actually was going to school at like a local school that was much cheaper while I was working. But then YouTube kind of took off, and then I was like, fuck this. Or maybe I quit a little prior. Timeline gets all mixed up. I mean, things worked out, right? I think that's also a danger, though. It's like, because you know, I've told this story a lot, and I definitely do encourage you to not just blindly go to school and get like some bullshit degree that gives you like following a career path you're not. But there's also like the other side of it, where it's like, well, you gotta work, you gotta make money, and a college degree does go far, and a better college usually does generally mean you get a better job, or at least in certain fields. But that being said, don't necessarily want my experience, because, you know, I could have just gotten lucky.